How much does Google Ads cost for plumbers? If you've been considering using Google Ads for your plumbing business to get more paid jobs, more leads, you probably want to know how much it actually costs to use it. Is it $20 a day, $50 a day, $400 a day? In this video, we're going to break down exactly how much Google Ads costs, what plumbers are really spending, actual costs to get plumbing jobs like block drains, hot water system replacements. Is Google Ads worth it for plumbers? And why Google Ads doesn't work for some plumbers. You may have heard online that Google Ads doesn't work, Google Ads does work. We'll answer this a bit later in the video. Before we get into it, my name's Adrian Harrison from Grow Savvy Marketing, and I help plumbers and other service businesses get more paid customers using Google Ads. All right, so what are the key factors that affect the cost of ads for plumbers running Google Ads? First of all, if you've had a look into Google Ads before, you'll know that there's actually no flat fee as such. It's charged as a cost per click. So in Australia, you're looking at around $7 to all the way up to $150 a click. And we'll get into the factors that affect this a little bit later. And in the US, you're looking around $37 to $180 a click. And yes, that can seem very expensive, but you really need to be putting that in perspective with how much revenue you're going to get for that money. And we'll go through all that later as well. So Google Ads costs vary and they depend on a few things. First of all is your location. If you're in a big city like LA or Sydney or New York or something, then the costs are going to be a lot higher than a small regional town. One of the major factors that affect the cost is the competition. When you've got a lot of other plumbers bidding, it's going to push up the cost of the clicks, and that's especially true if you're in a large city. The next thing that comes into it is the type of keywords, general versus more high value keywords, high intent keywords, where people are much more likely to buy. So for example, plumbers near me versus blocked drain plumber, there's going to be a difference there. Plumbers near me, that's a little bit more generic. Block drain plumber, you know exactly what they're looking for. There's a very specific search intent there. Also, the quality of the keyword comes into it too, and does it convert? So 24-hour plumber near me, that's really expensive, sort of $33 to $181 per click. But what you've got to remember there is if someone is looking for a plumber in the middle of the night, it's not going to take you many clicks to get them as a customer. It might only take a couple of clicks, 1 or 2 phone calls, and you're going to convert them really well because they're desperate. They need help right now. So they're not going to shop around for 10 other quotes. They just need a plumber. Next thing that impacts the performance is your ads and your landing page. If you haven't got your ads set up well, then you're going to pay more. And same with if you haven't got your landing pages, specific pages that actually convert the traffic into paying customers, then again, you're going to pay more. So overall, we do want to be looking at the actual results and not just the cost per click, as I said. So we'll get into that a little bit later. Before we get into how much plumbers are actually spending on Google Ads and how much it's actually costing them to get paid customers, let's look at how the Google Ads budgeting system works. Google Ads budget is set as a daily amount. So for example, you might choose your budget as $100 a day, and Google will average this out over a month, a 30-day month, to $3,000 a month. You won't always spend $100 a day. This is going to fluctuate. So for example, some days you're going to spend $75, other days you might spend $140. What happens though is this will average out at the end of the month to get your $3,000. Let's now look at how much Google Ads charges. So if we type in a query, we're going to get ads at the top. So this one here, sponsored, is an ad. This here is an ad. This one here, all of these in fact. And sometimes you'll get ads in this map section as well, and they'll say sponsored. Google Ads will show your ads up here for free. So there's no charge to show your ad. It's when someone actually clicks on your ad is when you're charged for that. And that is called a cost per click, or a CPC, we refer to that as. How much does it cost per click, and how can you find out this information for yourself? First of all, we'll run through some common keywords like plumber near me, you're looking at $16 to $66, water heater replacement, $7 to $37, block drain plumber, $15 to $59, and 24-hour plumber near me, $33 to $181. That's pretty huge, $181 per click. But if you're getting jobs for it, it makes sense, then it could be worth it for your business. So how do you actually find out this information? We're going to use a tool called the Google Keyword Planner. And to use Google Keyword Planner, jump over into your AdWords account or your Google Ads account, go to Tools, Planning, Keyword Planner, discover new keywords. Now what you want to do is add a few keywords in here, and that's going to be, start with something broad like plumber and maybe blocked drain. You can add a few different services in here, and most importantly, you need to change this one here, which is the location. So change that to an area that you actually cover. So your town, your city where you service. Click save and get results. And what this actually brings up is a list of keywords, different things that people type into Google, all related to plumbing and blocked drain. What we're actually looking at here is, first of all, there's the keyword in this column, average monthly searches, and top of page bid low range, top of page bid high range. So top of page bid is how much will it actually cost you to get to the top of the page and be seen in Google and not on at the bottom of the page or the second page. So that's the lowest amount you'll pay over here, and this is roughly the highest amount. So urgent plumber near me, $44 to $125. Plumber to clear block drains, $36 to $73, which is plumber to unblock toilet, $31 to $100. Plumbing services near me, $24 to $72. So all of these are just averages, and you'll probably pay somewhere in between, probably more towards the top end than the bottom end to get these click prices. So that's how you're going to get your cost per click. And just as an added note, in this column here is the average monthly searches. So the number of people per month looking for this particular term. So plumbing services near me, you've got 880. Outdoor drain blocked, you've only got 10 people, but you've got a lot less cost there as well, and that is very specific. So you can likely convert quite a lot of those because it's so specific, whereas this one is a lot more general, so it could be anything that they're looking for this, whereas this one, well, you know exactly what they're looking for, and it's much higher and more likely to convert into a paying customer. Now you know how much it costs to find that cost per click, but is Google Ads worth it for plumbers? What really matters, like I mentioned earlier, is the cost per booked job, or the cost of a booked job, and the revenue that you're going to get for it. So let's look at an actual example of how much it costs to get a paid plumbing customer. We'll take the keyword plumber near me. It costs about $40 a click here in Australia. It's going to be more in the US. And let's say it takes 25 clicks to get that customer, to get them over the line as a paid customer. Now, your numbers are going to vary a little bit, and that's going to depend on your own sales process and how good you are at selling people once they inquire. So if we take 25 clicks at $40 each, you're looking at a total ad spend of $1,000. So total investment of $1,000. Now, the keyword plumber near me, that could be anything from a leaking tap to a bathroom renovation, a full bathroom renovation. And so you could probably expect jobs from, $1.5K even to $15K or more for an investment of $1,000. Just remember, these numbers do vary, and you're not always going to pay $40 a click or $1,000 to get a customer. You might only pay $500 to get a customer if you've found some keywords that are less competitive, which there are lots around, and you've got your Google Ads account really optimized well, and your sales process is, you've got that down pat. So you might only pay $300 or $400 to get a customer. And again, if you're getting jobs for $1.5 to $15K, that's a pretty good investment. Let's look at another example, 24-hour plumber near me. Now, this was the really expensive cost per click, and you can pay up to $180 or so for a click for this one. But you've got to remember, these people are generally desperate. They're calling late at night. They've got some sort of an emergency. So they're not going to shop around and get 10 quotes or 5 quotes and wait 3 weeks before they make a decision. So let's take $90 as a cost per click. And let's say it only takes you 4 clicks to get a customer. Then you're looking at a total ad spend of $360. So from this, you might do an initial repair job just to get them going for maybe $1,300, and that might actually lead to another job. So you've always got to remember that the initial job might lead to a much bigger job. So you might initially repair something that's leaking and then unblock something, and then down the line, you're going to get a much larger job, which might be a pipe replacement or something like that. So is Google Ads worth it for plumbers? Well, I'll leave that up to you to decide. But if you're spending $360 $50 on an ad and you're potentially getting $6K back or even $1,300 back. If you're spending $1,000 and you're getting anywhere from $1.5K to $15K, it's probably worth it. Obviously, if you're getting most of your jobs are down at this bottom end, then it's going to be questionable. But if you're getting jobs in between, then $1,000 to get a customer could be worth it for you. The next thing you'll probably want to know is how much plumbers actually spend on Google Ads and how much you should be spending. Well, this is going to be based on your keyword cost and your keyword selection. And to work this out from that, what we generally do is we'll take 10 times the average cost per click to set your daily budget. So that's going to be the minimum daily budget. Let's take these keywords as an example. So plumber near me, the average is about $41. Water heater replacement, about $20. So your average cost per click is about $31. So that would make your daily budget about $310. So that's the minimum that you really want to be spending. One mistake I do see is making your daily budget way too small. A lot of people, they just want to test Google Ads and they think they're just going to spend $5 or $10 a day, test it out, see if it works. But there's a big problem with that. That generally doesn't work because when you're in a competitive industry like plumbing, if you're paying $40 a click, $100 a click, $20 a click, if you've only put $10 a day in, that's not going to get you any clicks at all. Or even if you put $20 a day and you're hoping to get these $20 clicks, that's one click a day. And that's hardly going to be enough to see if you're going to get a customer from that. You're not going to get a customer from just one click a day very quickly. You might be lucky to get one customer every once a month. And then you might conclude that Google Ads doesn't work. Whereas it's not actually Google Ads, it's just that you haven't given it enough budget to test it out and to try it. You really need to be testing Google Ads out for about 90 days or more to see if it's going to work for you, because there is an optimization process. So my recommendation, if you're going to try Google Ads for your plumbing business, you want to be investing about $250 to $500 per day. You can start on the lower end, and then as you see results, then you can increase that budget. You may have heard Google Ads doesn't work for some plumbers. Maybe you've had a friend that's told you it doesn't work. Maybe you've heard from a friend of a friend, and maybe they've said that Instagram works or Facebook works or any of those sort of other mediums. There's usually some pretty good reasons why Google Ads doesn't work for some people. Google Ads does actually work. It's usually just the way it's set up. So the first thing is that they've chosen the wrong keywords. They've chosen keywords where the traffic just doesn't convert. What a lot of people do, big mistake, is just to add a keyword like plumber. Now, the problem with plumber is it's so broad, it could mean anything. It could mean plumber tools, plumber jobs, plumber apprenticeship. So it could mean a lot of different things. So it's just not specific enough, and there's not enough search intent. So you're going to be paying for all those inquiries and people clicking on your ad that have actually absolutely no intention to buy from you. Versus another keyword like plumber Sydney, there's a lot more intent there. It's obviously very clear they're looking for a plumber. Mistake number 2 is incorrectly setting up your Google Ads campaign, and making some common mistakes will lead to a lot of wasted budget, and you'll be getting inquiries that are not a good fit, or you'll be paying a lot for those inquiries, or maybe you're not getting any inquiries at all. And some common mistakes when it comes to setting up your Google Ads campaign is, first of all, sending traffic to your home page. You want to actually be sending it to a landing page, a specific page designed to take that traffic and push it through an inquiry form so they contact you or get them to call you. Homepage just isn't designed for doing that. Mistake number 3 is actually blaming Google Ads when it's not actually a Google Ads problem. Google Ads can only send you traffic, and once you get that traffic, once you get that inquiry or that phone call, then it's up to you and your team to really turn that person into a customer. So if your sales process is weak, you're not going to be turning those calls into jobs. And some common mistakes when it comes to that is being slow to respond. If you're not answering the phone and you're taking 3 hours to get back to someone, 5 hours, one day, then you're probably not going to win that job, especially if it's an emergency job. If someone's got a blocked toilet, they want someone right now. And if you pick up the phone, or if you're the first to pick up the phone, your chances of actually getting that job skyrocket. So answer the phone quickly and you're going to increase your chances of getting the job. And the next thing is not having any follow-up. Now, this isn't relevant for emergency jobs, but it is relevant for things where people don't need to do it immediately. So if they're looking at getting a new kitchen, new bathroom, that sort of thing, they're going to take their time. And even during that time when they're thinking about it, you need to have some follow-up. You need to call them. You need to be sending them some emails or some other information. And if you can do that, that's actually actually going to lead to having more customers, more conversions. If you need help with your Google Ads and you suspect it's not set up properly, or you're looking to set it up, you can download my 150-page Google Ads guide for service business owners, where I run through what every setting does and show you exactly how to set up a profitable campaign that brings you paying customers. If you're looking for expert help, you can book a call with me. We can fix broken campaigns and get them converting and profitable. We can set up new campaigns to generate you paying customers. The links are in the description below. Thank you for watching, and please remember to like and subscribe to the channel. Cheers.